Who wins? That's the question on the other side of the commercial break.
Oh. Okay.
James is so stressed out on this series.
This is Speak, and I will say it this quickly. James Jones has been on the Celtics bandwagon since after Game 1, because before Game 1, he was all Mavs. But James, you knew it first. Before the introductions, I got a very simple question. How you knew the Celtics was going to win Game 3?
You know what? My dog over there, Shady, what stuck with me is when Caitlin Clark took the court against South Carolina, he told us, did you see the disadvantage? Game 1 is all I took. I seen the disadvantage that the Mavs was up against from top to bottom, from bench to starters, whatever. They could not match up with the Boston Celtics, and I only needed one game to see. Y'all, I needed a couple more.
Wait. You're trying to give him credit for something that we all picked. We all picked the Mavs to win it.
We did.
So but y'all had no panic after Game 1 like they was going to make a run or
So he gets applauded for that?
He gets credit for changing his opinion the fastest. For changing the fastest.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? We were stuck in our wrongs, Shady. We were stuck in our wrongs.
Dog.
Sure was.
If we all say they're going to win, you say winning Game 4, Game 5, or 6.
Technically, y'all were like more wrong because you picked the Dane earlier.
But y'all wasn't panicking or nothing after Game 1. It's all good. The series don't start until a home team.
I mean, no. Game 1 was early for you to get shook, but you look right now.
You look right now. That's James Jones. That's Joy Taylor. That's Shady McCoy. Everybody looks good. Let's get right to it. Shady, I got to ask you the question because we saw the game last night. It was bad. Dallas Mavericks, they were decent. Kyrie Irving was dominant, but Luka Dončić, he was not good. Fouled out in the fourth quarter after picking up 4 fouls. Shady McCoy, the question is simple. Do you blame Luka for Game 3's loss?
He gets majority of that blame. And majority is in like 80%. First of all, you're your biggest star on the team. You're the biggest star on the team, so you get 4 fouls in 1 quarter? And the quarter you got it is the fourth quarter. That's the best quarter. That's the biggest quarter. Yeah, like we need you to score. Another thing, Jason Kidd said, hey, it is obvious that he has a bulletin on his back, right? And on defense, if you look at the way that the offense ran from the Celtics, they're targeting him. Everything is going at Luca on defense. Bro, we know you're a great scorer. I get it. You played pro ball since 14. But you got to play some defense, though, bro. You got to show me some energy. Look at this. Some effort. Look, let's look at this, though. 3 ball. I ain't contesting nothing. Look, what is that? Where's he at? Like, he's not closing out. He's not hustling. Look at this, though. What am I doing? I ain't contesting nothing. No hand up. So when you talk about who's to blame, it's got to be Luka.
That's well said.
It can't be. You know what's funny? In 2022, the Warriors played the Mavericks in the finals, too, though, right?
Sir.
Or Western Conference Finals. I was. Western Conference Finals, they played them when they beat Boston for championship.
Yep.
And the whole offensive game plan was to go at Luka. Yeah. Find him on the screens. Where's he at? We got him. Oh, isolation 3 ball to the layup. My thing is, for you to be such a great player, bro, you got to play some type of defense. I'm not saying you got to be locked down. You got to be Jayson Tatum or Jaylen Brown, but you could be a Steph Curry. Yeah. Well, it's funny, I say Steph Curry for defense. There's times where Steph Curry just physically can't guard certain people, but he gives you effort, though.
Yes.
I can deal with the effort part. Luka don't give you no effort, so now when your team's not scoring because the ropers are not really getting involved, that happens. But we need you to hold it down. But how can you hold it down when you're not on the court because you fouled out? And then you got 5 fouls, you taking a charge? Man, listen. If the answer for all y'all ain't Luka, we're going to have an issue.
Can I answer then? Let me answer real talk.
To the left,
I say it like this.
To the left.
I've heard fatigue makes a coward of us all, but Luka showed me yesterday that fatigue makes an imbecile of us all. Because Luka started playing stupid. He started playing stupid. Shady McCoy, he just talked about it. I'll emphasize it. How in the world did you get 4 fouls in the fourth quarter, the most important game of your career, the most important moment of your career, and you get fatigue fouls? When he decided to pick up Pritchard 94 feet, Luka, that was his 4th foul of the game. I'm thinking to myself, what are you doing? It was the dumbest foul I have ever seen committed in my life to date. What are you doing? Because he was tired. He was tired. What was the point? What was the reason? What was the point? So that was foul number 4. And then you're going to end up seeing foul number 5. Egregious and dumb as well. But this was the kicker that Shady just talked about. Why in the world would you try to draw a charge? A charge is the most subjective call in all of sports. You're going to try to draw a 50-50 foul. And here's what frustrated me the most. When Luka looked at the bench and he says, quote, y'all better effing challenge it. My problem with Luka and why I blame him is because his harm causes exponential damage. Luka's harm, it don't just cause him damage. If y'all remember, it was the fourth quarter. Mavs should have ended the first quarter rather. Mavs should have ended the first quarter up by maybe 10, maybe 8. Luka tries to draw another phantom call against Al Horford. He complaining to the refs. He don't get back on defense. They go down there, number 30 for the Celtics. He gets a tray ball. Then the next possession, Luka tries to draw another phantom foul call on Jayson Tatum. He lays on the court. Jayson Tatum, they go down there, they get a dunk. Next thing you know, first quarter, it's a one-point game when the Mavericks should have been up by 10. Luka, he tries to draw a charge. Not only does he foul out the game, but then exponential damage. You cost your team that challenge call. Luka doesn't just hurt himself yesterday. He hurt everybody along with him. Joy Taylor, devastated. I blame Luka.
Yeah, it's got to be Luka. Look, situational ball matters. These are the biggest moments. This is when all the pressure, everything is on the line. You're up against the best. They're prepared. You're prepared. Who makes the right decisions? Who puts themselves in the best position? You guys are in a position to win this game, and you are making bad decisions. You're not the defensive part. Honestly, he doesn't play defense. Luka ain't never played no defense.
Effort, though? What about effort? I ain't even saying play good.
There's been moments. I mean, they're a good defensive team. Like he's improved, and it's really not excusable if you are a star, if you are a superstar like Luka is. If we're talking about you are the best player, one of the best in contention for being one of the best players on the planet. He's been better this year, but that to me is not particularly surprising. Now, why we excuse that from Luka, I don't know, but it is not particularly surprising. The situational basketball, the bad choices, the fouls. Throughout the series, not getting other players involved, that to me is the biggest mark on Luka in this series. You are the guy. This is your team. You are not new to these type of environments. Yes, you're new to the finals, but you've played a lot of postseason ball. You know it goes through you. You know they're not going to win if you're not on the court. How are you making these decisions? The turnovers, the rush shots, not getting people involved, the fouls. It just feels like the moment is too big. Yeah. That's what it feels like. It's when you're watching this, it's if he is playing perfect and they're losing, okay. Like the Celtics are just better. But I was thinking about it this morning, like, wow. All season long, we were saying, who's going to win the finals? Or who's your early finals prediction? We're like, I don't know. But it's probably whoever comes out of the West. To a man, everyone was saying this. You know, like, yeah, we don't really trust the Celtics. We don't know, like, the East is kind of weak. Whoever comes out of the West is going to win this. Sure don't look like that right now. Now, listen, we didn't give the Celtics a lot of credit, and they're coming into their own, and we'll get to the Celtics in a second. But it just feels like this can't be the same Mavs team that we watched go through the Western Conference Finals. But it is, and it just feels like it's overwhelming.
James, does it feel like to you, because this is what it feels like to me, every concern we've ever had about Luka showed up all at once in Game 3. Yeah. Out-of-shape concerns over the first 3-4 years of his career. It showed up in Game 3. Doesn't play defense. Those are concerns we've had over the first 5 years of his career. It showed up in Game 3. Overly emotional at times. We've had those concerns, especially being a European player coming to America, always looking for the refs for a call. It showed up in Game 3. Every single concern that you and I have ever had about Luka Dončić, it showed up in the biggest game of his life, in the biggest moment. That's what I saw. What'd you see? Do you blame Luka?
I don't blame Luka at all. I blame the Boston Celtics. You know, my college coach always told me, because it was a stretch to where he always used to get on me and yell at me and not get on the other players. I'm like, bro, why you always on me like that? And you don't even be on the other dudes like that. He say, because I don't believe they can do it. I believe you can do it. Luka can't stay in front of nobody on the Boston Celtics, and the Celtics know that. Luka Dončić had a 37-point triple-double, and they got smacked. Luka Dončić had averaged 30 points in this series, and they've been getting beat down. The Boston Celtics are the ones to blame because they are clearly just better than the Dallas Mavericks. That's clear. And they showed it because they have beat you 8 times in a row. Yeah. Whether you want regular season, whether you want playoffs, whatever it may be. They have beat you 8 times in a row. Luka has put up 30, 40, 25, triple-doubles, whatever. Kyrie has helped at times in certain games, gave you 30, gave you 25 right along with Luka, and you still lose. The Boston Celtics are just that much better. And Boston knows. We pray he switches all these pick and rolls because we got 5 dudes on the basketball court that he cannot stay in front of. And if you don't want to help off Al Horford, he can shoot it too. So you're going to have to guard. You are not guarding Rudy Gobert on a switch to where you can just sit there and chill and not play no defense. He cannot stay in front of Brown. He cannot stay in front of Tatum. He cannot stay in front of Drew. And that would not change next year. So it's either you're going to foul or you kind of going to be like Shady said, you're going to look like you're not giving no effort because you cannot move your feet to stay in front of these dudes.
See, that's no. The problem is everybody gives him a pass because he scores so much on offense. When you saying stay in front of, that's one thing. When you letting guys go and then you try to hit the turnover from behind, or even when dudes are cutting in the lane, I watched maybe 6 to 8 points in the clutch moments where the ball's on the right side, the dribbling, see what's going on, and your man Luca just cuts right in front of your face later.
Jaylen Brown,
It's like, yo, that don't take no time of real defense. That's his effort.
But that's why
I agree, because I was yelling at the TV because not one teammate says nothing to Luca.
Correct.
Not one.
Correct. We will get to that. James Jones, you said that the Celtics are better than the Mavs, but the most interesting question that might be asked today is, who's the best Boston Celtic? Shady, you've been telling them. Tell them again in case the viewers missed it the first time. Where do you stand? Has Jaylen Brown proven he's the Celtics' best player?
I think he is. I think Jaylen Brown's the best player on the Celtics, right? He plays phenomenal defense on the other end, guarding the best player. We've seen him watching Luca and Kyrie the whole game, right? Okay, then you go to offense. He just showed you a great moment where we need a score. They won a 20-2 run. The Mavericks did. Who won score for us, right? And who answered it? Not Tatum. JB. And then the part of when you're the man of the team, right? When you wave a dude off, you know you can wave off to. Like, yo, look, I know it's your team and all that. Yeah, they told me, watch out. And he scored. Even before that play, he was scoring on multiple occasions. So I just love when I see the supposedly not even the best player on the team, but a guy that takes that opportunity, like, yo, I'm going to shoot the ball in the last couple seconds. We need to score. I'm going to do that. Yo, we need a guard. I'm going to guard the best guy. The last couple seconds, I'm going to do the same thing. When you look at Jaylen Brown, that's what he brings. So I think Tatum is probably the most talented out the bunch, especially offensively. But overall being better, I'm going with JB.
Where we stand now, though, Joy, right now the betting odds favorite to win Finals MVP is Jaylen Brown.
No way! Wait, no way, though.
It's real close, though.
He is the odds favorite to win Finals MVP.
It is close.
One's plus, one's negative. It can't be.
Hold on, because Joy needs to answer this question. Joy, has Jaylen Brown proven through these Finals games, obviously, that he is the Celtics' best player? Watch your words, because it's a passionate desk up here.
Why do we always have to choose?
Sports.
We do.
That is sports.
Yep.
Do we have to choose?
We do.
The Celtics don't have to choose. What a luxury for them. Is it possible that Jaylen Brown's jump from the regular season to how he performs in the postseason is bigger than Jayson Tatum's regular season to postseason jump, and that is why we feel this way?
I mean,
because Jayson Tatum during the regular season
is a great point.
is
really
a
well said.
spectacular player. He is great. He has every regular season award.
All of them.
You know, he's yes, not MVP, but obviously he's all NBA. He's an All-Star. He's in rare air during the regular season, and he is really good in the postseason. Really, really good. He's the 9th player over the last 50 seasons to post a 21-8-7 line in the finals, amongst Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Scottie Pippen, LeBron James, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, Jimmy Butler, Nikola Jokic. He's in very, very good company. He's a great postseason player as well. Jaylen Brown is a good regular season player and a tremendous postseason player and a clutch postseason player, an Eastern Conference Finals postseason player, and very well maybe an NBA Finals postseason player. So I guess I don't know is my answer, and I'm sorry to give the cop out, but like Jayson Tatum is such a great player. But I think the reason we feel this way is because the jump from him to the regular season to the postseason is marginal, and the jump from Jaylen Brown from regular season to postseason is so large that it looms over Jayson Tatum's performances.
Which one do you want, though? Which one do you want?
I want both.
You got to get to the playoffs.
You want both?
I want both.
Wait, time out. Let's get this straight. So you telling me one player plays phenomenal in the regular season,
and
right?
He plays good
in the postseason, he plays pretty, really good.
He plays
the other one.
Phenomenal in the regular season, and he's marginally better in the postseason. So marginally better than phenomenal.
I don't know. I don't know if I can agree with that.
I mean, he in the.
You don't tell me numbers. I get it.
With the
but when we watch him in this playoffs. Forget the numbers for 1 second. Let's put him down. Let's close your eyes. When we watch him this whole playoff series, was he phenomenal in the playoffs?
I don't think so.
Good player, not phenomenal.
Yeah, I think
He's been phenomenal.
Okay, right? But you said he wasn't a regular season.
But he is a phenomenal player.
Regular season.
Yes.
My thing is, what do you want more, though? You want a guy that balls out crazy in the regular season or the guy that balls out in the postseason?
But his
I will answer that.
Please answer.
I will answer that for you, Shady.
Go ahead,
you
please.
forced me into an answer, and because you're my friend, I'm going to give it to you because I don't want to.
Thank you.
I will take the postseason.
I think most people would.
Because and I'll ask you why, because one of the names on this list just made me answer that question. Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler is somebody that people don't take very seriously during the regular season, right? Like he's not putting up these spectacular numbers. Do you want Jimmy Butler in the regular season, or do you want a stat hog that's in the postseason, or somebody who just puts up a bunch of stats in the regular season? Mm-hmm. We know what Jimmy Butler is capable of doing on one leg in the postseason. So I'm with you. So I will take that.
So Jaylen Brown is the best.
Yes, that is my answer. We have worked through it.
So then where you at, James Jones? The world is waiting on an answer. I know I am.
I don't keep you waiting for long. It's Jayson Tatum is the best player. But I do think the best compliment that I could give JB is a couple years ago or even last year, this wasn't even an argument. It wasn't even close. Now it is an argument. Like, you can look at it and say, do you want JB like we sitting here arguing, or do you want Jayson Tatum? And I credit him for that, because it is really, really close right now. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't with Shady. I'm still not, but it's really, really close. Right now, it don't matter who you pick. Right now, 2 years ago, you'd be looking crazy going with JB. Right now, when you watch these two dudes play, especially in this postseason, because that's what's fresh on our minds, JB is looking like the best player. Obviously, what Tatum has accomplished over his career and coming into the NBA after JB, obviously he's accomplished much more, and he's a better player to me. But it is really, 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 really close, and that's credit to JB.
Why the chuckle?
Nah, it's just funny, man. Like, he don't want to agree with me, but he does agree with me.
No.
It's funny because I remember when I would get in trouble in school, right, and they would ask you the question, well, what happened? And I'm going all the way around these little loopholes. The same thing he just did. But then the last thing he says, well, he talking about 2 years ago. We ain't talking about 2 years ago, James. Are we? We're talking about right now. And if you watch the game, this is what I don't understand, though. We all watch the game, not because we wanted to. We have to. It's our job. If you watch that game, there's no way you can tell me that you think, if you don't know who the names are, right? One dude's light skin, one dude's dark skin. Yeah. Pick one of these dudes you think is the best player for this team. Everybody they right might have watched a game would tell you that Jaylen Brown is the best player.
This postseason, sure, but it's
all right, that's what we talking about.
It's just crazy to me how the body of work of Jayson Tatum, that one postseason that a dude has of looking a little better than him, we're saying that he's better than him now. He has not been better than last year.
Well, here's why I have this question, and it's for you, Slick. It's, James, you know better than anybody's careers are defined by bodies of work in the postseason. Yeah. Like we all know, we all play sports. Sure. There are players that will go into the Hall of Fame in both leagues based upon not what they did in the regular season, Eli Manning, what they did in the postseason.
But see, that's what I'm saying, though. But we're acting like Tatum ain't doing nothing.
No, he is. No. But my thought for you, Slick, is in the event, and this might be the most important question I will ask anybody today. In the event Jaylen Brown wins Finals MVP, what does this do both legacy-wise and narrative-wise in the imminent future? What does this do for both of them? For Tatum and for Brown, because it's not like Giannis and Middleton. We used to say that Middleton was the closer and that Giannis was the guy who would get you there. But the gap between Giannis and Middleton was so wide, there was never a comparison. But the gap between JB and JT is tight, like James Jones has alluded to. So in the event Jaylen Brown wins Finals MVP, how in the world does that change the narrative of how we reflect on these two players?
Well, it's certainly going to elevate Jaylen Brown to a place that we previously did not have him. Mm-hmm. But I don't know that it devalues Jayson Tatum. Look, we still continue to this day. We have the arguments about Kobe and Shaq in terms of who was most important in their championships and who ended up the overall better player. Uh-huh. We talk about Kyrie Irving and the value that he had to LeBron James when they won that. LeBron James, I don't know that comes back from 3-1 and wins that series without Kyrie Irving hitting the big shot. I don't know that the Boston Celtics are where they are without Jaylen Brown hitting the clutch shots that he's made. But I can't ignore that Jayson Tatum takes the approach of, what do you need me to do? Oh, I need to rebound. Oh, I need to guard a big. Oh, I need to play make. Like, he's asked to do all these things. Jaylen Brown is asked to do a couple of specific things that he does better than Jayson Tatum does, which is when we need a bucket in the clutch, he's the one who gets it. If we need you to guard Kyrie Irving while Jayson Tatum is doing all these other things, I got it, right? And so we're trying to delineate and make it specific and say, this guy is clearly better than this guy. And I just don't, that we're going to continue to argue this. And to answer your question, I don't think that the result of this championship is going to be definitive. I think we're going to continue to have this conversation.
Question, and I'm doing this in real time, so apologies for any errors, but when's the last time we saw a player, particularly in basketball, because in football you see it often, right? You could say that Cooper Kupp isn't as good as Matthew Stafford, but Cooper Kupp won Super Bowl MVP and Stafford didn't. But when's the last time in basketball you saw the not best player win Finals MVP if there was only one title won?
You could talk Steph Curry, KD.
But only one title won. Because Steph obviously went on to win. Okay, but more than, who?
That was the first one. Tony Parker was Finals MVP the year that they beat Cleveland.
Correct. But I'm saying they went on to win more.
Yeah, he's saying
right?
one title.
So one title won. Like, is
so
there my thought process is, are more titles inevitably going to have to be won so that in the event JB does win Finals MVP, Tatum can course correct this narrative?
Absolutely.
Because there's not a world where Jaylen Brown can be the Finals MVP and Tatum doesn't get a Finals MVP and that just be okay for later.
No.
That's crazy.
But then, yes, but then we're very much living in the moment. Like,
of course,
these are extremely young men.
They're young.
I'm not saying that they will go on to win 5 more titles or even another title, but they are going to continue playing basketball for quite some time.
Right.
Jayson Tatum is going to rack up an enormous amount of accolades throughout his career, based solely on what he does year in and year out during the regular season. Mm-hmm. So while the Finals MVP, say his career ends that way, may loom over him, he's going to have quite a long resume to put up on the table when we talk about what he's accomplished as an NBA player.
My question is, because you're right, but is the most important thing a Finals MVP? Because, like you said, he's going to accomplish so much.
Most important thing
when I think about Giannis, Giannis has a couple MVPs, defensive players of this, he got that, he got that, but he got Finals MVP. If Middleton would have got Finals MVP, it would have been like, whoa, like that's not good.
Look what it did for Steph Curry when he finally won a Finals MVP. That felt like it was the final grace. Now, he'd been a league MVP, he had won championships, he'd done all that. When he was Finals MVP, we suddenly said, oh, that puts him, that elevates him to a place that he hadn't been previously in spite of all the other things that he had done. But we are getting ahead of ourselves a little bit right now.
How so?
Because if let's say the Celtics close out Game 4, and Jayson Tatum goes and gets 45, which he is fully capable.
Yeah, I mean, it might be in my notes. I'm glad Slick is saying this. This is not done. Like if Jayson Tatum goes off, say it goes to 5.
Yeah.
Mavs pulled together and extended to 5. If Jayson Tatum these next 2 games goes off, especially scoring, it's going to go to Jayson Tatum.
He's not out of the running to be the Finals MVP.
Okay, so and what's JB going to be doing, right?
I don't know. Maybe what he did in Game 3. Or Game 2.
38 and 8. Oh, Game 2. But Game 2, he was still like the third best player.
Another thing is like,
it's not like what Slick is saying. It's not like Jaylen Brown is running away.
No,
with
but I would say, hasn't Jaylen Brown outperformed Jayson Tatum in the first 3 games? He obviously did in Game 1.
They're going to tell you no.
Last night he had 38 and 8.
Yes, he was great last night.
You could make a case.
And another thing is, one dude is scoring at an efficient clip than the other one.
They both had 30 last night.
Correct. But in Jayson Tatum's best game,
had 31.
Yeah, 31. And Tatum's,
I know.
But I'm saying in Tatum's best game, JB still played better. When Jayson Tatum had 31, 8, and 5, I think Tatum's best game was Game 3 last night. I think that 31 piece last night was Jayson Tatum's best game. 31,
I would say
5.
They would say he's rebounding.
I would say when he had the 18 and 12, I don't think that's.
Did he not have a triple-double in Game 2?
I think he had 18 and 12 in Game 2.
Oh, he missed it by 1.
12, and 9.
He missed it by 1.
18, 12, and 9.
12 assists, 3 turnovers.
The problem is the 18 is going to.
And then what
it be more?
But what it looked like though?
Come on.
I think he had like 24. What it looked like? Because my thing is like even right now, right? If you look at the numbers of scoring, one dude is shooting at a higher clip. Because that's not all threes. I'm not all a jump shooter.
Slick, you told me something, and we'll take it to break, because you are an MVP voter. You're a regular season MVP voter, obviously, so it's an honor to have you in this conversation. Y'all aren't just listening to a Twitter head right here. You're listening to a guy who dictates legacies. Talk me through what is the MVP voting process in the NBA Finals. You told me off camera. Tell me on camera. Tell me the psychology of the voters, and then we'll take it to break.
Yeah, so in the final minute or 2, the league comes to 6 or 7 members of the media and hands them a slip and says, give us your MVP. And they want it before the game is actually over. When they look like this is going to be the closeout game, they want your vote. And they want to be able to have it so they can run down as soon as the game's over, they know who the MVP is. What I have seen time and time again with voters is that they will immediately look at the statistics. They will look at who's averaging the most points, the most rebounds, the most assists. They'll look at what the percentages are so that they can defend who it is that they pick. They're not going to, you don't have time to like kind of sort through everything that happened in the series. Or for many, it's difficult to defend those big moments, to say, hey, it was the eye test that won it. They want to be able to say, I picked this guy because look at the numbers. And so that's where Tatum still is very much in this, because right now, if you look across the board at the numbers, it's a toss-up. I'm just telling you how it works. I'm not telling you that it's right.
I know. I get what you're saying. But let me ask you this, Mr. Voter.
And I've never voted on MVP, Finals MVP. I've been to 20 plus of them, but I never.
But do you
never wanted that?
But don't you think that, like, I just feel like sometimes your numbers can really fool you, though, right? But when you watch the game, sometimes you throw them numbers away and really watch who's the most impactful on a team and et cetera.
But you know what else can fool you is to look at certain moments, big moments, and that guy came through in that particular moment. And you're not looking at the role that Jayson Tatum has in terms of, I got to do multiple things to put us in position for that moment. And that guy got it done. And look, I value that more than anything. I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you in terms of the value of that. That is the most important, most valuable ability that you can have, which is when I need a bucket, when everybody's looking at me, I can hit the game-winning shot. But if you're asking me, who is the best all-around player, it's the guy who can do more things.
So, Slick, really quick. So right now you saying on this basketball team, during this series, Jayson Tatum is more valuable to his team right now? Because you keep on saying he has to do more, and Jaylen Brown only has to do these little things. So are you telling me that he's more valuable?
No, I am saying that he is, if we're talking about best player, all-around best player, Jayson Tatum is the best player. The most valuable is the guy who does the thing that I put the most value in, which is, we got a tie ball game. We're down 1. I need a bucket to win this game. Who's going to go get it for me?
That's JB?
And Jaylen Brown.
I got to take a break, JB.
One more question. So on offense, you're saying that I need a bucket, I'm going to JB, right? Yep. What about on defense? We need to stop.
Depends on who it is.
Drew Holiday.
Jason.
If it's not, let's say if it's not Drew Holiday.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
We got to stop Luka.
That's a great point.
Hold on, we got to stop Luka, and Kyrie's out here. So
Drew, you on
Kyrie. We need somebody to go guard Luka for the last shot. Who's it going to be, Slick?
But in this series, it's been Jaylen Brown.
So if I'm guarding the best player on the best moments, right? Yeah. I'm guarding him, and then on offense, we need a bucket. I'm getting that bucket. How in the hell did? What are we talking about?
How I'm not MVP?
What are we talking about?
He's MVP. He's my MVP right
It's not close.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.